Welcome to today's Ibua Conversation. We are speaking to authors who are published under Ibua series, an imprint that produces children's books, poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction. Welcome, Patience.
Thank you so much.
Happy
Racheal.
to have you here with us.
Happy to have you too.
Congratulations upon the publication of your wonderful book.
Thank you.
Are you excited? Do you feel like now you have accomplished a goal in life? That, you know, this was on your bucket list, become a published author, so tick, tick, tick.
True, I am excited to become an author.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it would happen. I thought I would write and write, but to see that my work is out there, published, it really gives me courage.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a sense of accomplishment.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I think that's every author's desire, to be published, to have their work read by all people. And I know that yours is specifically children's books. Why did you choose children's books? Why not, adults?
Children are very interesting people.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting because they have a fresh mind
Mm-hmm.
that can easily learn, can easily be adjusted compared to the old people. So me writing for children, first of all, they have a fair ground where one could introduce the rightful knowledge throughout the content they write to them. The rightful knowledge, I mean like responsibility, characters of responsibility, empathy, kindness, and great leadership.
Yeah.
I know throughout my stories, when children are able to come up with such values, they can be great leaders in the community, they can be great communicators, they can come up with the love for reading, which is what I am looking for, which I can't start with the old people. They are very difficult to bend if you say that you write for the old. But when you write for the children, you get it right.
I think do we call it an adage, or what people usually say, that with children, start them young,
Yeah.
right? Then you'll have adults who are reading.
Yeah, even biologically, we know that what you introduce to a child's mind is to a larger extent what they become in future.
All right, wonderful. Well, glad that, our children have books to read. So let's get into why you decided to write the book, and why also settle on that title.
Okay, why the sunflowers follow the sun? It's really an interesting title. And by the way, it's a fact that the sunflowers follow the movement of the sun.
Okay.
I believe you know that. If you don't know, you get to know
Now
today.
that I read your book, I know that.
It's a fact of life, apart from that I wrote about it. It's a fact of life that sunflowers follow the movement of the sun. So why I chose the book was based on that fact. I really took my time to think about how could sunflowers move with the movement of the sun. And the common ground I could find, it's to fall back to nature. And of course, creatures were created by God. So my story brings out the character of a man who was disciplined, who was empathetic, and kind to people. And the fact that in the book they faced the drought, but because of this character of the man, that God saved the land, and from then instructed the sunflowers to follow the sun, to protect the farmland from drying up again. So still, it all comes back to the point of nature. I couldn't find a better way of a better reason to why the sunflowers follow the sun. I still attributed it to nature, that it's because like they are like an umbrella and they go following the movement of the sun, meaning they're sheltering the farmland from drying up. So yeah, that's how I came up with the title first.
So let's go into what has been the reception for the book since you published last year. What has it been like for the young readers in Uganda?
All right. The fact that this book, okay, in my writing, I intended to pass on certain disciplines and certain values like empathy, kindness, and responsibility, plus hard work. So throughout the story as you read, after the story you get to learn these lessons. You become empathetic. I know from a child that has read the story, they will become more kind, they will respect others, they will have a certain discipline and a sense of responsibility. So I believe as the book reaches more and more children out there, I will be able to achieve this
goal.
This goal to why I wrote the book with an underlying reason to pass on certain values and disciplines to the children when they are still young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that have you seen any of that? I know you've done a lot of readings with Ibua in the different schools. Have you been able to gauge or have the kids come up and say, you know what, I really like the book, or I see what you're trying to do in the book. Okay, maybe they may not say what you're trying to do in the book, but I enjoy the story. Have you received any of that in the different schools you've been to?
Yes, I have. The recent one at Acacia schools. The reception was really amazing. You could tell as you read the story that children are really interested and are following. Each time you read, they want to know what is next, what next. That shows me that the book is really interesting. That even after the read, they had to ask like several questions. This is an interesting book. So how did you come up with this story? How did you think about the farmland drying up and the sunflowers following the sun? So from that feedback, I get to realize that they like the great story behind the content.
That's amazing. That's amazing, because you're targeting young readers, and we know that in Uganda that's an age group that has really not been written for, so to speak. But I know that now with us publishing books, there's that coming up. But is this something you want to do long term, to say you want to publish like 50 children's books, or until you die, this is all you want to do?
All right, this is a passion. Writing for children is a passion to me. I got to interact with them and loved their mind. Having a free mind, willing to learn, gave me an opportunity to explore into writing, which I explored, to write for the children. And I am taking it on. This is not going to be the last issue that I will write. I will write more children's stories, and with the main goal that throughout this content in the various books that I would have written, I know I am passing on the rightful knowledge, and by the way, I'm keeping Africa present, because the stories that really attract me as an author are African-based stories. So I believe through writing for children, I'll keep the African lifestyle, the African family life or lifestyle present. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Patience. That's it for today. Follow us on our social media platforms at Ibua Journal. And don't forget, if you want to purchase Patience's book, go to our website at ibuapublishing.com and you'll be able to get a copy of the book.
Yeah, and also they are in Aristoc, Uganda Bookshop. Yeah.